welcome back to the channel, guys. Right, first off, if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Follow along to the end, we should get this quarter panel finished. So today's task is get the compressor fired up, some cold air. This is all been lineaged back clean, joggled, whatnot, prepped. All inside there is now night fire red, which I'll bring you in and show you. And really we need to get on and get this panel fitted. Once this is fitted, there's this side, bar the little bit in the corner, which I'll do once I've got the back panel in place, done. And when I mean this side of the car, from the door back is finished. So it's going to be a big feat if we can get this sorted. So the main aim for this is to get this clean, no distortion, and just take our time really. That is the biggest thing, is take our time. Yeah, we've just got to kind of go with it. It's going to take a little while, but I'm happy enough. It's quite therapeutic in some way. Once it's in place, it's not going to move, and I can just take my time tacking it. So bring you guys in and show you what I've done on the inside. So it's all prepped, all painted. I'm never going to be able to get in there again. And obviously once the car's all built, we can cavity wax it all anyway. So this panel's prepped and ready to go, and I'll come grab you now.
Mentioned, I've not bothered grinding these back. These are just the plug welds. Everything seems sealed and it's all metallic and lacquered, all in there. You can see it's all painted and it's all done, so I'm really happy with that. Everything in there is done. We have got this tiny little piece, actually, just remembered there looking at it, that we need to do. But once this is all enclosed in, obviously I have weld-free primer on there, we won't be able to get to any of this again. So let's get this panel all set up, let's get all the tools out, and let's get going. Alright, so I thought I'd bring you guys quickly back in to sort of show you where I'm at. So far I'm pretty happy with it, it's going well. So I've done 3 holes here, which joins this to the inner B post that runs up there. So I've plugged one of them up already, so that's holding that aside tight. And as you can see, I don't need to explain it to you guys. I'm just kind of spreading the heat, using my cold air feed just to keep it cool. It's always worked. So like I mentioned in the previous episode, there's loads of ways to keep this panel from warping, but so far we're absolutely golden, so I'm just going to keep going as I am. I wasn't happy with how these panels were kind of sitting next to each other once everything was clamped in place, so I've used the almighty tech screws again. So if I can just grab one for you. If you haven't already, if you're new to the channel, it is just a self-tapper screw, and it's got like its own little drill bit on it. So I bought, with this attachment that's on my gun, and 1,000 of these, I think it was like £6 or something. And you can reuse them every now and then. They don't really blunt the first time, so you do keep hold of them. So obviously I have to plug up this hole, which is not an issue. Still got one holding it in there. I'm debating whether to put one in there just to pin that tight, but obviously now I've just got to keep building up the tacks. I'm going to spot weld along here with the spot welder. So what I want to do is I'll probably just get a few tacks just so I can tap this nice and tight for the spot welder, because obviously the spot welder relies on absolute perfection really to get it nice. So I'll tap all that. Like I mentioned, this flange is wider than the original car, so once I've welded it all, I'll obviously grind it all back flush. But yeah, I'll keep bringing you guys in as and when, but we've got loads of little plugs to do, and it's just about taking your time. But it's already looking nice, so it's got, you know, this car's had this bit missing for a while. To know it's all nicely painted behind, it's quite a nice feeling. It's all kind of enclosed now. Just got to keep going. Alright, so I'm still going, but I'm starting to fill in the gaps a little bit more. So I've built up the plug welds as and when, and then kind of alternated. But now I'm starting to put them in. Obviously the air's working well. We've got no distortion or anything like that yet. So we're really happy. Hopefully it stays like that. Obviously get the spot welder out on there in a bit. But yeah, bring you guys back in a minute. Keep going. Keep welding. Can't wait to linish it back and see it look like one panel. Alrighty then, so all welded up. Pretty happy at that. So there's absolutely no distortion I can feel. Obviously there's a layer of paint there, so there's a bit of a profile change, but then flat this back, light skin filler. I think we're golden. I'm really happy with that. It's the first time I've done the full patch. The MPI, we did the doorstep panel that's ran along here, and then we put a piece of it in, just got sorted the rot out basically on that car. But obviously this one was a bit more worse for wear. But yeah, let's start linishing it back, but I'm pretty happy at that. So basically, just to recap, I did a tack. I used the tech screws to bring it closer to me so you can see where I welded up the holes, the various tech screws, and then basically just alternated with keeping this to a close hand just to be able to obviously squirt some air at it. Kind of just alternated and then just filled in the gaps. So a lot of people I have seen just kind of stitch it and then filler it, but for me it was never like that before, so let's make it a complete panel once again. So yeah, just needs flattening back now. So the car will have arches, so I do need to drill another hole back in there. Obviously we'll get the arches out of storage and do that first, but yeah, so I just got, I think there's about a hole about there it needs just to fit the arch back on. Yeah, pretty happy at that. So let's get the grinder out, flat disc on, and start the tunes again. So I put some of the primer on it now, so now I can leave it overnight, sort of do its thing. You can obviously see a bit of the vague weld line, but I won't obviously run my hand down it because it's wet. But when you run your hand down, the only thing you can really feel is that profile from the so much paint on the car. So I'm thinking light skin filler all the way down. This panel was never going to be done without any filler, but minimal filler is obviously good, and there's literally no warpage, there's no waving in the panel. I'm really, really happy with it. So first attempt, got another side to do, but I mean, does it ever stop? It doesn't, does it? So obviously I've used that paint, that's from Frost Restoration, so etch primer, always put on bare metal, you need something to fight back against against any more corrosion. What I'll do is I will probably
then let's get some filler on it now, just to kind of, so I can clear my mind, so I know it's nice, or just leave it to the end. I'm not entirely sure yet. So we'll see how we get on with that, but I'm happy with that progress. So what we're gonna get on with next, which I'll show you now, is in the boot. There's basically the tab up the back there, that's never been welded. And then these are all just tacked on and things like that. That's obviously the other inner panel for the other side. So what I plan to do is, I've kind of done this side now. So we're gonna work our way around. The lower little piece to do in this corner and that little piece there. They're bits I'll probably do off camera. They're only little patches. Stuff I can do in between doing other jobs. So the rear panel is on order. So like I mentioned before, it's corroded there. So we've got the panel that will hopefully take most of that. Worst case, I've got to make a little bit up. But yeah, it'd be nice to get rid of this rear panel because it's bent, it's damaged. But I think while I'm working my way around there, because yeah, car problems and all that, I might as well just finish the work as I can. So all the boot will be ready to literally rock and roll for the new back panel. If you have a little sneak peek in there, 2 Heritage wings, Heritage valance, closer panels for the rear valance, 2A panels, obviously the rest of the inner panels to the other side, Heritage scuttle, exactly the same as what we used on the MPI. Really poor light, that guys, really apologise about that. Let me grab a light. So yeah, Heritage panel, and then we've got these panels here, valance, 2 Heritage wings. Like mentioned, we have got obviously that whole other side to deal with, so as I walk around the car in sequence, I might as well just kind of finish it off. So it'd be nice, once I've done the bits of welding in here, I'm going to cut that brace bar out. It's the last brace bar out of the car then. I literally left it in there because I just forgot basically, and just left it, and then the car got covered up for another 8 months. But yeah. Anyway, that is all from me. I think that is this episode sort of done. Keep an eye out on Instagram, because if I do skimp a little bit of filler on there, I'll post it and you guys can see what it looks finished. But obviously, if you follow along with this build, you're going to see it finished. It's no biggie at all. So yeah, we're going to just kind of work around little jobs. Oh, the other job I've got to do is, this is the fuel tank strap. I cleaned all this back, saved it and repaired it. Not that you would ever know. I made a very good job of this, one of the first things I did. So this needs to go back on the new floor. I've got measurements up on my board. The rear panel, like I mentioned, is on order. Front up panel's on order, and then we have every single panel for this car. So they're all paid for, ready to go. They're just not in stock. Heritage is very far behind, and a bit overrun, I think, with a lot of orders. Obviously lockdowns, everyone's got into their projects, I guess. But yeah, if you haven't already, give this video a thumbs up. Comment below if you've done any of these jobs before, if you've got any of the other bits you're doing on yours, because I can try and help. We can learn together, because a lot of this is new to me. I've done a rear panel before, but kind of I was helping another person do a rear panel, so this is all me on my own now. Welding up the boot floors, just, yes, I guess from factory it'll be spot welded, but I'm going to stitch weld it because I think that's stronger and it looks nicer, and I can't get the top welder in there, so plain simple. But we're getting there. It's so nice being back on this car and seeing some fresh metal back in there. So thank you for watching, guys. Give this video a thumbs up like mentioned. Check out our sponsors in the link description below. Frost Restoration obviously helping us out a lot. I've got my belt sander set up and stuff like that now, so we'll obviously be using that when we make up some panels. But yeah, subscribe if you haven't already. There's loads coming on this channel, loads more panels. When I get the other panels in, I'll do a bit of an update as well. So stay tuned. Boot floor next. Stay safe.